Good day. My name is Jacob Pote. I am the Chief Cabinet Secretary of Japan. My position is just under our great Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, who has served our beautiful country since 2021. Oh, there he is, looking good, Mr. Kishida. As I was saying, I am the Chief Cabinet Secretary. My foremost duty is to ensure the sustainable growth and prosperity of my beautiful nation. In my report for Japan, I aim to provide an in-depth portrayal of Japan's current economic state, including key indicators such as GDP, GDP per capita, inflation, and the labor force. Subsequently, I'll presenting our top exports and imports, followed by a comprehensive SWOT analysis to understand our nation's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Finally, my report will conclude with a strategic roadmap encompassing fiscal, monetary, and trade policy directives for the upcoming decade. In the following section, I will talk about our current economic state. This includes our gross domestic product, inflation rates, and at the end, labor force. After 3 years of struggling, Japan's real GDP finally overtook its pre-pandemic peak. As of 2022, our real GDP is 625 trillion yen, which is roughly 4.2 trillion US dollars. This, I can proudly say, places us at the third highest GDP in the world. Next, we have our GDP per capita. This sits at about 5.3 million yen, which is about 35,500 US dollars yearly. I believe our GDP is this high because we strive for a better standard of living for our society. Next, we have inflation. Although we are not content with where we are currently, I can still proudly say that our inflation is 3%, which is down 1% from the beginning of this year. While this is impressive, we plan to continue lowering inflation with the hopes of increasing our GDP and eventually, if all goes according to plan, attain the highest GDP in the world. Although everything before this has been impressive, one of our proudest boasts is our highly skilled and disciplined labor force of 66 million individuals. This means out of our 124 million people in our population, 63.1% are actively participating in or looking for jobs. This places us in the top 9 in the world for labor force participation rate. But this all means nothing if you can't put these people into jobs. However, we thrive there as well. Out of the 63.1% participating, we were able to put just under 62% of these people into jobs. Not only does this again show how much we strive for a higher standard of living, but also shows our attention to our citizens. In order to maintain such a high GDP, we have put a lot of time and effort into our top industries. We are renowned globally for our automotive industry, which we proudly claim the third largest industry in the world. On top of automobiles, we lead the world in technology and innovation with companies driving advancements in electronic chips and camera equipment as well as robotic advancements. Furthermore, we are a manufacturing powerhouse, particularly in sectors like machinery and precision equipment. And thanks to our always increasing labor force, we are ranked 4th in the world for both our exports and imports. Leading our top exports are automobiles, which have brought in close to 88.6 billion US dollars. Our major automakers like Toyota, Honda, Nissan, and Subaru play a pivotal role in this sector. These companies are renowned for their innovation, quality, and global market presence. We achieve this through technological advancements, fuel efficiency, and design. All of these things contribute to the success of our cars in the international markets. Additionally, I believe that our strong supply chain networks, efficient manufacturing processes, and strategic partnerships with global distributors also enhance the export performance of our automotive sector. Next in line, we have our integrated circuits, which have brought in $36 billion. As I mentioned previously, we lead the world in electronics and semiconductor companies, such as Sony, Toshiba, and Renesas Electronics. Our firms are at the forefront of technological advancement in integrated circuits, or as they're more commonly called, ICs. Our export success can be attributed to our continuous research and development, cutting-edge manufacturing processes, and a focus on producing high-performance electronic components. On top of that, global demand for electronic devices, ranging from smartphones to smart appliances, also contributes to the growth of our integrated circuit exports. Following ICs, we have motor vehicle parts and accessories, which have brought in $33.4 billion to our country. Similar to the automotive sector, the export of motor vehicle parts and accessories is dominated by our giants like Denso, Aisin Seiki, and Yazaki Corporation. Our companies specialize in manufacturing components that meet stringent quality standards. From the global automotive supply chain occurs, our companies often serve as the key suppliers for these supply chains. All of this enhances our export value of motor vehicle parts and accessories. Furthermore, continuous innovation in safety, efficiency, and environmental stability strengthens our hopefully ever-enduring position in this sector. After our vehicle parts, we have machinery that have individual functions. This sector has brought in $22 billion. Our machinery export sector is aided by our companies like Hitachi, Komatsu, and Mitsubishi. Heavy Industries. Our firm is known for having and producing a diverse range of machinery with specific functions, some of which include construction equipment, industrial machinery, and power generation systems. Our export success is driven by a combination of advanced technology, reliability, and adaptability in machinery for various industries. On top of that, strong global demand for efficient and durable machinery contributes to our export performance. Lastly, we have photo lab equipment, which has brought in $18.5 billion US. Our company, like Fujifilm and Canon, are pivotal to our success in this sector. We are renowned for innovation in imaging technology, producing cameras, printers, and other photographic equipment. The export success in this sector is influenced by our reputation for high-quality imaging products, ongoing research and development, and a strong global brand presence, as well as the emerging consumer interest for advanced photography equipment. Moving on from exports, I will now talk about how we import. As an island country, about 20% of our resources we must use are imported into us. While this seems like a limiter, it actually helps us keep strong relations and partnerships with foreign countries than we might otherwise. At the number one spot, we have crude petroleum, including close to $54.9 billion worth of petroleum. We rely heavily on our crude petroleum imports to be able to meet our energy needs. Major factors influencing this import include our limited domestic energy resources and the high demand for fuel. Our import decisions are often influenced by global oil prices, geopolitical factors impacting oil-producing regions, and strategic partnerships with oil-producing countries. Our energy companies, such as JXTG Holdings, are key components involved in importation, refining, and distribution of our crude petroleum. Next, we have petroleum gas, which we import close to $40.2 billion worth. The import of petroleum gas is extremely crucial for us, and because of our constant need for energy, our companies like Tokyo Gas and Osaka Gas are major players in the distribution and supply of our petroleum gas. Import factors include fluctuations in the global gas prices, geopolitical considerations, and the need for diversification in our energy sources. The import of petroleum gas is also influenced by our efforts to transition towards cleaner energy alternatives and reduce dependency on nuclear power. Although we export a lot of integrated circuits, we also import close to $22.7 billion worth of integrated circuits. The reason we import integrated circuits is because they are crucial electronics from leading global semiconductor manufacturers like Intel, Samsung, and TSMC. Some of the factors that were considered when we decided to import as much as we do is the high demand for advanced electronic devices, the pace of technological innovation, and the need for a stable and diverse supply chain. Our electronics and automotive industries heavily rely on imported integrated circuits to stay competitive, which we have been doing for over a decade now. Next in line is coal briquettes. We import close to $22.2 billion worth of coal briquettes, primarily for power generation, given that our country's need for diverse energy sources. Major global coal exporters like Australia and Indonesia play a significant role in supplying coal to us. Some other important factors include the cost competitiveness of coal compared to other energy sources. Environmental considerations and global coal market dynamics are power companies such as JERA are key players involved in importation and power generation. Finally, we have refined petroleum, which we import about $18.1 billion worth of it into our country. Refined petroleum imports are essential for meeting our ever-increasing demand for various petroleum products, including gasoline and diesel. Major oil refining companies like Idemitsu Kozen and Cosmo Energy Holdings are involved in importing and refining petroleum products. This import decision is influenced by factors such as global oil refining capacity, refining margins, and regulatory requirements. The demand for refined petroleum is closely tied to our transportation sector and industrial activities, making it a critical component of our energy imports. Now that I have shared our top exports and imports, I believe it is necessary to also share an exhaustive SWOT analysis, which includes our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Starting off with our strengths, the fact that we are world leaders in innovation and technology is what I need to make clear. We are renowned for our pioneering spirit and technological prowess. Over the years, we have consistently led the way in groundbreaking innovations spanning various domains such as electronics and automotive manufacturing. Esteemed global corporations like Toyota, Sony, and Panasonic have emerged as leaders in their respective sectors, effectively establishing new benchmarks for excellence and inventive prowess. Next, our country has been unmatched work ethic. We are highly celebrated for our workforce, which is known for having its unwavering dedication, discipline, and meticulousness. We attribute our work ethic to the fabric of our culture, which strives for economic triumph more than that, just a robust economy. This commitment to excellence guarantees that our goods and services maintain the highest standard of quality. Our dedicated workforce is not only the backbone of our economic achievements, but is also the driving force behind the exceptional reputation enjoyed by our products on the global stage, which is the perfect segue to our next strength, which is our globally recognized cuisine. Our gastronomy, encompassing beloved dishes like sushi, ramen, tempura, and a myriad of other delights, have achieved a worldwide acclaim. The international popularity of our cuisine is attributed to our unwavering focus on fresh, premium ingredients and an artistic culinary presentation. This commitment to quality transforms our food into a true Epicurean experience. Additionally, our sake, a traditional rice wine, and breweries have earned a global recognition. The harmonious blend of flavors, textures, and aesthetics in our cuisine continues to captivate the taste buds of enthusiasts worldwide. Now, before I begin on my next point, I would like to say that my personal proudest moment that I have had for my beautiful country is when I discovered that we have one of the highest life expectancies globally. We serve as a shining example to the world because of the effectiveness of our healthcare system and the well-being of our population. This remarkable achievement reflects our unwavering dedication to promoting health and longevity, making it a prominent strength. We consistently establish international benchmarks for healthcare, emphasizing both the quality of medical services and overall wellness of our citizens. Our commitment to a healthy population not only enhances the lives of our people, but also underlines our influence in the global healthcare arena. setting a standard for our nations to aspire and learn from. Lastly, despite popular opinion, we are one of the world's safest nations due to our remarkably low crime rates and pervasive feeling of security it provides for both visitors and inhabitants. Our reputation for safety enhances our allure as a sought-after destination for tourists and a desirable place to live for our citizens. We achieve all of our strengths by striving for a better life and well-being for our citizens and visitors. Although I wish I could skip over this part, I believe a man must accept his weaknesses as a fact, rather than ignore them or cover them up. He must learn from them and strive to eliminate them. This is extremely true in our case. First and foremost, we grapple with a swiftly aging population, presenting a myriad of complex challenges. Our birth rate falls significantly below the threshold required to sustain our immense population size. This demographic transformation not only portends a potential shortage of our immense labor force, but also exerts strain on social services. As the elderly demographic expands, the financial burden associated with the elevated healthcare and the pension costs rises conspicuously, posing a real threat to our society. Other than age, we also face an ongoing challenge regarding gender diversity and equality in our workplaces. In comparison to numerous other nations, our country falls behind in areas such as women's engagement in the labor force, their representation in leadership positions, and the achievement of equitable pay. This underrepresentation and unequal treatment of the substantial portion of our population's workforce potentially shows a pronounced weakness in our country's infrastructure. The failure to harness and empower this workforce segment hampers our country's infrastructure. Moving on from these issues of population, our reliance on energy imports due to our scarce natural resources has made us particularly vulnerable to external energy market fluctuations and supply chain disruptions. This dependence on imports was exacerbated by the Fukushima nuclear disaster in 2011, which forced the shutdown of numerous nuclear reactors. In the absence of nuclear energy, we had to resort to an increased utilization of fossil fuels, which only amplified our energy insecurity. As a result, we are subject to the volatile pricing of these fuels and potential interruptions in their supply, posing economic and energy security concerns. Finally, because we have reliance on imports, our business culture is to mainly focus inward. While this quality has its advantages, it has also impeded our engagement with the global economy. Recognizing the importance of diversity, international collaboration, and open innovation is imperative in our interconnected world. I believe embracing these principles not only fosters a more open and adaptive business environment, but also better aligns us with the global economic landscape, which can only facilitate growth and innovation. Now that I have expressed our weaknesses, I would like to share some of the opportunities we have as a country that counteract our faults. One of our largest opportunities is in our technology. With the rise of the Industry 4.0 and the digital age, we have a substantial opportunity to leverage our technology prowess. If we take advantage of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, robotics, and countless other things, we hold the potential to revolutionize industries in our palms. However, technology is not the only thing we are good at. Our government is proactively supporting the emergence of startups and entrepreneurial ventures. We can do this through measures like deregulation and establishment of startup hubs in key urban centers. The environment for the growth of small and medium-sized enterprises is being nurtured actively. These initiatives aim to cultivate a more agile and vibrant business landscape for our citizens, which ultimately fosters a culture of innovation and broadens our economic base. Lastly, we were ranked number 1 in the world for 2021 Travel and Tourism Development Index. This is not some happy accident. Sorry, Bob Ross. It is largely due to our tranquil natural vistas, historic landmarks, and distinctive cultural encounters that have a magnetic pull for our global tourists. By implementing well-crafted policies, investing in infrastructure enhancements, and launching effective marketing campaigns, we possess the potential to further amplify our tourism sector significantly, ultimately injecting vitality into our economy. Despite having promising opportunities, there are some threats that we face as a country that we either have to overcome or defeat. The first of which, and possibly most formidable, is that we face a considerable regional threat due to our close proximity to North Korea, a country notorious for its nuclear aspirations and unpredictable conduct. The persistent missile tests and political instability in North Korea has heightened our security concerns. To counter this, we are compelled to make a sustained investment in our defense capabilities and nurture robust alliances as a deterrent against potential acts of aggression. Despite the growing fear, our focus on the issue at hand necessitates our constant commitment to safeguarding our national security and regional stability in order to protect our citizens and tourists. While physical dangers present genuine concerns, our profound reliance on technology leaves us open to the risk of cyber attacks. This susceptibility not only endangers critical infrastructure of our country, but also exposes our businesses and governmental systems to potential threats emanating from state-sponsored entities or autonomous cyber criminals. Effectively defending against these cybersecurity risks requires an ongoing dedication to investing in robust security measures and promoting international collaboration. It is crucial to safeguard our technology environment to guarantee the integrity and resilience of its critical systems and infrastructure. Finally, we unfortunately have a history of struggling with natural catastrophes, whether human-caused or naturally caused, such as seismic tremors, tidal waves, and cyclones. As I mentioned earlier, the Fukushima nuclear crisis in 2011 served as a poignant illustration of our susceptibility to such events. The constant presence of these environmental perils underscores our essential need for continuous allocations of resources towards disaster readiness and alleviation efforts. These measures are not only vital for safeguarding the well-being of our population, but also for preserving the stability of our economy. All of my previous points were all planned with the hope to highlight our strengths and weaknesses, with the ultimate goal of revealing my strategic roadmap from 2022 to 2033. I would like to begin by sharing how I plan to further bolster my country's incredible strengths into a powerhouse machine that drives Japan to the top of the economic world. My strategy to bolster our technology sector is to launch what I call the Technological Renaissance Initiative. Firstly, we would need to establish more innovation hubs. These would be specialized hubs for collaboration between industry leaders, startups, and research institutions to catalyze technological advancements. Secondly, I think we need to double R&D funding. By allocating additional funds to double down on research and development efforts, it will help us innovate at a more expedited rate. We would have a primary focus on emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and quantum computing, all with the hopes to be the largest technology exporter in the world. My strategy to increase our work ethics further is to introduce the Workforce Excellence Program. I think we should develop a comprehensive training program to upskill the workforce and align the skills with emerging industry demands. And then, when we have a training program up and running, we would introduce National Productivity Awards. These awards would recognize and incentivize companies, as well as individuals, that demonstrate exceptional workforce productivity and dedication. While our cuisine really speaks for itself, I believe our strategy should be to launch what I call the Culinary Diplomacy Campaign. This would include creating a global culinary ambassador program, which would appoint culinary ambassadors to promote Japanese cuisine globally through international events and collaborations. On top of that, this campaign would start a culinary innovation fund, which would invest in research and development to enhance the global appeal of traditional Japanese dishes and foster new culinary innovation. My plan to increase our healthcare is to create a medical tourism centers. Since we already have incredible healthcare for our citizens, the only logical approach is to start focusing on our tourists. My plan is to establish the dedicated centers to cater to the international patients, providing world-class healthcare services and promoting Japan as a medical tourism destination. How I plan to do this is by collaborating with renowned healthcare institutions to set up specialized facilities with multilingual staff, offering personalized care to the international patients. On top of increasing our tourist appeal, this will also forge partnerships with international health organizations, which will improve healthcare standards globally and attract medical professionals. My plan to continue lowering crime rates is to introduce the Save Japan equals Thriving Japan campaign. My first step would be to invest in smart city technologies, surveillance systems, and community policy to enhance public safety. This would take the form of tools like advanced surveillance cameras, predicting policing algorithms, and also have events where we can engage communities in crime prevention programs for safer neighborhoods. Moving on to our weaknesses, I have developed a few strategies in order to eradicate all of our primary weaknesses. Since we already have taken extreme measures to prevent an attack and to safeguard our citizens as well as tourists, I believe again our focus should be on launching a global safety certification program to highlight Japan as a secure destination for tourists and investors. In order to do this, we would have to collaborate with international safety standards organizations, conduct safety audits, and establish certification process for businesses, public spaces, and transportation services. My strategy to combat our demographic issues is to implement the Population Renaissance Plan. This plan would introduce financial incentives and support programs to encourage family planning. Some of the incentives would include tax benefits, parental leave, and child care subsidies to support families, fostering a more favorable environment for child rearing. On top of providing incentives to creating families, this plan would also include an immigration policy. By implementing a balanced immigration policy to supplement the labor force with skilled professionals, we would be able to increase our labor force substantially. This would end up paying for itself due to its hopefully increasing our workforce tremendously. My strategy that I hope will eliminate most of the gender discrimination is to introduce gender inclusivity quotas. These quotas would work closely with business to set realistic targets, offer mentorship programs, and ensure gender diversity as a key criterion in promotions and hiring. On top of that, these quotas would include workplace flexibility policies. These policies would implement work options from remote locations, flexible hours, and family-friendly policies with the hope of creating a supportive work environment for all employees, male or female. My goal for Japan is to use less and less non-renewable resources and focus primarily on investments in solar, wind, and on other renewable energy sources. My plan to achieve this is to incentivize private and public investments in renewable energy projects, foster research and energy storage solutions, and promote community-based renewable energy initiatives. This would also mean that we would have to start investing in energy-efficient technologies, incentivize business to adopt sustainable practices, and collaborate with global partners to share the best practices in renewable energy transition. If we are able to achieve this, we would end up saving billions, if not trillions of dollars yearly through imports alone. I'll conclude with this. If we embark on my strategic roadmap from Japan from 2023 to 2033, my focus will be on the three pillars of innovation and technology leadership, workforce excellence, and global recognition. Under the Technological Renaissance Initiative, we will establish innovation hubs and double R&D funding to accelerate advancements in AI and quantum computing. The Workforce Excellence Programs aims to upskill our workforce, introduce national productivity awards, and enhance our strong work ethics. Additionally, through culinary diplomacy campaign, Safe Japan equals Thriving Japan, and Green Japan equals Sustainable Japan campaign will globally promote our cuisine, prioritize public safety, and transition towards renewable energy, ensuring Japan's prosperity in the years ahead. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation on Japan and my strategic roadmap for the foreseeable future. If you have any questions or concerns, I have left my name, number, and email for your convenience. Have a blessed day. And remember, visit Japan. You will not regret it.